Здравствуйте and good afternoon. My name is Камилла Жанмишель and I'm the Regional Business Development Manager for CIS countries at Herman Miller. We've seen fabulous office design presented by Nikolai today and obviously by Sergio. And I think one point which Ida just said is that offices have to live. But is there a kind of an easy concept in some kind of an easy manual which would help us to actually create dialogue between the client, the company, the architects, the project management, and obviously the employees, because that's the biggest asset of every company. Technology. Oops. So welcome to Living Office. So what is Living Office? Well, I think we've spoken today quite a lot about the new landscape of workspaces, the new landscape of how we work, the new changes. We are global businesses nowadays. We can connect with everybody very, very quickly. We, as I said, global businesses. We can be physically in one space, like at the moment in Almaty, but being videoed at the moment, this presentation can be 500, 3,000 miles away within seconds. So that's always important of creating the spaces for nowadays office. And obviously we all have more to say. There is no hierarchy nowadays in offices. We all create ideas. We all are the people who bring ideas to company and through our productivity can make every company successful. And we mustn't forget that nowadays everything changes really quickly. The product life cycle is really quick. Well, the economical changes are rapid, as we see in a lot of regions. So that's something which we have to remember as well, creating the new workspaces. But let's have a look in the past, because that's where we can maybe not, learn something from. So obviously at the beginning of the 20th century, there was a pretty simple mass production with not many tools, and obviously the boss was always right. Then we went into the era of information, where we had already some kind of a connection. Business became more international, and there was more a matrix of management rather than just one boss. But where are we nowadays? Oops. In era of ideas, it is very easy nowadays to get any information. You Google it, or probably Yandex it, I should say, and you get every information on everybody, everything within seconds. The most important thing is the employees who collaborate, talk to each other, and create ideas. So why Living Office? It's trying to actually create the space which supports creativity of those ideas, and obviously makes happy employees, because happy employees are the productive employees. So there must be changes in management, changes from there to hopefully there, maybe not necessarily that messy. Tools. we really need a support with all those devices we're using every day in the office or every second. So that's something which we really need to consider. That's which we probably still work nowadays, but that's a very near future, or actually even today somewhere. And places, this is what it is about. How to create the place which attracts talent and actually brings out the best of our employees. How can they be the most creative and in which environment? In this one? Well, no, thank you. Probably in this one, if they serve a good coffee, I would say. So this is the answer to all of that, really. This is the engine of prosperity, as a meaning, not as prosperity, just the lovely money we like, but as a holistic approach. So to be a company which obviously has to work as a group and create a profit, however, looking still into the individual and individual needs. Because if those needs are met, those people are going to have passion. And with passion, they're going to be more productive and, well, they're just going to love their job. But at the same time, we've got few provocations to just make you think a little bit deeper about all the concept. Well, the next big thing maybe isn't for you. You know, we all seen and talked about the Google offices. Well, but that's a Google. Not everybody is a Google. Not every company is a Google, and every company has got different needs. Workers as shoppers. Again, very, very important. You know, we all can see where people work, how the companies look after them. And they're going to go to a better office. They're going to go to a better place. They're going to go where they're supported in a better way. Oops. We feel before we think. How many times have you actually walked into a beautiful building or even neighbor's home and it somehow doesn't feel right? It just doesn't give us the feel. And that's the kind of a human nature we feel before we think. And that's probably against what I said about the mess. There are so many people actually who do like to work with a bit of a mess around them, and they need it to thrive and be creative. Not everybody likes to have perfect line and organized desk. They just need a bit of a mess. And you plus me equals 3. As soon as two people meet and exchange ideas, there's going to be a new idea created. Maybe the breakthrough for a company idea. Well, I think that's self-explanatory. Living beats dying. We want to have a lively office, happy place, rather than a sad and dying place. So how do we create this living office? Is there a simple solution? Within our research, our insight group, we've spoken to over 300 companies around the globe, and we actually watched them in their offices and what they do. And we grouped it into 10 activities which each of you, independent of company you work for, do every day. 7 of them are which we do together, so collaboration, and 3 of them which we do individually. Chat. Well, very simple. We grab a coffee, meet a colleague, and talk to each other, which then might get deeper into a conversation where it's a little bit more purposeful subject like a new project we talk about, or maybe new client, or other things which are happening in the company. Then from the conversation, we're going into co-creation. So that's where those two people become three as the new idea, maybe a new solution to a problem. But at some point, those people have to divide and conquer their task. So concentrate on their task before they actually decide, you know what, we have to have a little huddle and talk about those little problems again. So let's meet ad hoc. And that's what I'm doing at the moment. Well, show and tell. That's another activity we do every day in the office. That's a very interesting one, and one of my favorite. Within all of us here, there's about 30% of introverts. And if those people have a meeting organized and are meeting before the boardroom or a small meeting room, small area, those 30% don't feel very comfortable. They need a little bit warming up. That's where the whole introduction happens, where the chat and the conversation starts, and actually where the meeting begins. And then again, after a meeting, very often this 30% of introverts are not very comfortable to speak up within a bigger group of people. So after the meeting, they will come out, and if there's a nice area where they can sit down or even perch, they will exchange more ideas, and that's mostly where actually the best ideas happen. Yeah, that's the boring one. That's those emails and emails, endless every day, where we just respond without actually engaging our brains very much. And that's obviously the interesting one, where we sit and create. Very often not really at our desk. It could be the airport. It could be a cafe around the corner. It could be everywhere. But very, very important process. And then the contemplation. So sometimes we really need to go away from it all. We need to gather our thoughts and prepare ourselves for the next task of the day. So to support all those activities in the office, we created a set of 10 settings, which then can be easily chosen to support a work environment. But that would be another part of my seminar. If you're interested in more details, then please have a look at hermanmiller.com, or I will be here around at the Herman Miller stand, so more than happy to give you more details. And we're back to the engine of prosperity. There was a recent study by Towers Watson talking to more than 50 companies and actually doing a survey with them. And yeah, the companies with the high engagement of their employees are 27% financially more successful than all the others. So the question is, where do you want to be tomorrow? Thank you very much.